time he does a grand
Okay.
entrance.
Brandon, you're gonna be
Because he's
sitting
so
over there?
grand, Bill.
That's right.
Hey,
You just
Jeff
can't
Ford.
keep up with
And
him.
I've always told him that.
You
For
can't
his
keep up.
age, he's very
Doesn't
grand.
sound good from you.
Jeff,
Okay,
There you
guys.
go.
could have got your video
Ready,
from
Mark?
across the street and had it on the screen.
Ready, Bill? Guys?
I'm all set.
Okay, I'm ready.
You know, he doesn't look up that Jeff.
I can't believe he's not here right now.
Never mind, I'm talking to Jeff Newsom.
This is crazy. Dustin? Where's the mayor?
Yeah. Do our thing.
Okay, guys, we'll start up in a few seconds. Good evening, everyone. The work-study session will begin. My fellow residents, it's hard to believe in less than 1 week our lives have turned upside down. It was just last week that we were voting in an election that saw many changes in protocol with the same-day registration and a large increase in absentee voting. I want to thank all those volunteers that helped make the election, along with our city clerk Jan Ferenz and deputy clerk Michelle Kistler, an outstanding election. Again, I want to thank them for all their hard work and for making this election run very smoothly. Great job, Jan and Michelle, and to the outstanding workers. However, 1 week later, we are dealing with the effects of the COVID-19 virus, also known as coronavirus. I've been in constant contact with the mayor and the administration to stay up to date with the latest changes, and this council, along with the administration, will make the residents aware of any changes that happen, although it seems like they're moving very quickly on a minute-to-minute basis. On tonight's agenda is a request from the administration for an emergency declaration for the city of Southgate. This action will help the city react more swiftly and effectively to meet the needs of our residents and employees during this health crisis. I would ask that the mayor give an in-depth report on this and on addressing the challenges that we face moving forward as residents of the city of Southgate. Again, we will be successful in these endeavors. Mayor Cuspa, good evening.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I want to start out by thanking you. You know, it really has been refreshing to see your leadership on this issue as well and working with the administration. Again, your strong commitment to this community is very apparent, and thank you for that as we work through
That's
these
very
issues.
kind of you. Thank you, Mayor.
As members of this great community and as Americans, we have been asked to make swift and dramatic changes to our lives. These actions will help minimize the likelihood of contracting COVID-19 and reduce the risk of spreading the virus. We have all been asked to avoid large public gatherings. Many functions and events have been postponed or canceled. Our city government, schools, places of business, and even houses of worship have been affected by the need to reduce direct person-to-person contact. I know that things are a bit unsettling at this time, and many of our residents question if these extreme measures are necessary and how long they will remain in place. I can assure you, as my administrative team and I consult with healthcare and public safety professionals locally, regionally, and nationally, there is a strong consensus that these measures are necessary. As such, these restrictions on our daily lives are intended to keep as many people as possible safe and free from the COVID-19 virus. Unfortunately, as of 5:15 this evening, the Wayne County Department of Health informed my office that there has been one coronavirus-related death of a Southgate resident. This is very sad news, and of course, our hearts go out to his family. That is why it is very important that we do our part to follow the prescribed preventative procedures for the greater good and well-being of our families and community. Things will remain fluid for some time, so please check our website for the latest links to reliable information from the White House COVID-19 Task Force, Center for Disease Control, and the Wayne County Health Department. As a city, public safety is our primary responsibility, but we must also stand committed to remaining accessible to our residents. Pending on the passage of the emergency declaration this evening, public access to our City Hall will temporarily be restricted. Effective tomorrow, March 19th, residents who normally visit City Hall for paying bills or to deliver city-related paperwork will be asked to use our 24-hour drop box located to the right of our entrance doors. The City Hall vestibule will remain open during regular business hours, with departmental phone numbers listed for any other City Hall business that the residents may have. A staff member will answer the phone and try to provide the information requested. Each department will decide if the issue warrants a person-to-person meeting. If a person-to-person meeting does occur, that will take place with all prescribed social distancing protocols to be followed. These are indeed challenging times. We must all take the precautions to keep our residents and employees safe. But as municipal employees and elected officials, we must also continue to serve the needs of our residents. Local government cannot cease to operate, especially in times of a crisis. We must continue to be available and accessible. These changes in our regular access and protocol are temporary. We will continue to monitor the situation and return to normal access as soon as possible. To assist our business community, we will also be allowing Southgate businesses the ability to display banners advertising their business activity. Although the maximum size restrictions will remain in place, the permit fees will be waived for the next 30 days. We will also reevaluate this policy after that time and determine if an extension would be needed. In addition, our DDA will be providing our restaurants and food providers with a standardized lawn sign that promotes their business and informs the public that they are open for business and delivery. The signs will be available for distribution this Friday and will carry the tagline, Southgate United. As a community and as a local government, we will stand united to serve our residents and business community. Again, please visit our website, SouthgateMI, one word, SouthgateMI.org, for the latest information on COVID-19 virus from the Center for Disease Control and Wayne County Health Department. Together, we will make it through these trying times, but our success will be enhanced if we take these necessary precautions now. These changes to our day-to-day procedures will assist with that effort and still allow our residents access to their government. May God bless each of you, the city of Southgate, and this great nation. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you very much, Mr. Mayor. Madam Clerk, Jan,
Thank
you
you.
did an outstanding job again.
I would just like to
to be
thank
commended.
everybody that was involved that had anything to do with the election, and especially my staff. They went above and beyond. We had over 60 residents register to vote the same
Amazing.
day of the election.
Absolutely amazing.
So that kept us extremely busy, and but we did it. And I would also just like to report that we had 31.17%
For
of our
primary.
voters, yes.
Wonderful.
7,047
Wonderful.
voted.
Wow.
That includes the absentee ballots, but even our inspectors at the polls were extremely busy. So I'd like to thank everybody.
Again,
That's it.
congratulations on a great job along with.
We have 2 more to go. 1 down, 2 to go.
All right. Mr. Colovis, good evening.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I want to echo all the thoughts that the mayor and the council president stated. All of us have that deep hurt feeling with regard to this unprecedented events that have taken place. I think there's going to be some, in history, you got Pearl Harbor, you got 9/11, and I think you've got this event, this plague almost that's taking place. And to have a Southgate resident as the first resident that I'm just informed by the mayor is very, very sad. Any resident's sad, but especially when it actually hits home. I'm breathless or wordless with regard to that, and I didn't know that. And that's very sad for the family and for anyone that may have had any contact or the family of this individual. And I'm sure they're doing their research right now and have already done their research as to any contact. My daughter works at U of M Hospital, and she said to me this morning, she says, Dad, it's I don't mean to alarm you, but it's a little bit worse than what's being reported. She said all beds are full at U of M. She said that normally beds are full and people are waiting hours to get in, much less when this took place. And it's very, very, very serious, as we already know. We had a meeting last night, an emergency meeting, the St. George Greek Orthodox Church, and pretty much never in its history has the church closed its doors and you can't do any praying or communion or anything like that. And for the first time, it's been ordered by the Archdiocese and the Metropolitans to lock the doors of the church. So it just becomes more and more serious. The St. George Church in Southgate said that if any families need food, need errands ran or anything, please contact them directly, the St. George Church. And they will make sure that food, supplies, clothing, whatever may be needed, paper products, that they'll get it out to them. So that's very kind of them. The Dropbox, wonderful idea. The governor, I believe, stated that, 50 people or more. I think the president said 10 people or more. You know what? If you don't have to be around people at all, don't. And as to what Jan said, thank you very much, Jan and Michelle and everybody that did the election. My daughter was a co-chair, if that's what they're called, at one of the precincts, Garish, and it was her first year, and it was quite enlightening to her. She really, really enjoyed it. She made friends. She now understands what goes on when you go to vote and you pull your ID out, and to have patience with people that are working. Have patience. And so a 31%, I don't know if that's a record or not, but when I used to hear 8 to 15%, 31 is off the charts. So it's nice to see the people are participating in government. I'm very proud of our government. I'm proud of our administration. I'm proud of our council, our treasurer, and everybody, that this will be a smooth as it can be to handle it. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Clovis. Mr. Roulette, good evening.
Good evening. This is from the superintendent of schools in Southgate. So as some of you may know, they were passing out meals at Davidson this past Tuesday. They did serve 6,640 meals. And that was all by the food service workers and some volunteers this past Tuesday. They will be doing it again this coming Tuesday, March 24th at 11 a.m. and from 11 until 1, or obviously until they run out, because I believe they did run out last weekend.
They did 6,000 meals in one day?
In one day, yeah. And it's sponsored, or it's administrated, I should say, by the U.S. Department of Agriculture. So there is not a residency requirement. If you need food, then you just go get food, and they'll take care of it. If for some reason you are, they do run out, you can also go to RESA, it's RESA.net /community/feeding, and they will have a listing of all the districts that are doing that, and I believe Dearborn Heights is the other one that's probably closest to us, but they will have a list of everywhere. So if for some reason you can't make it to Southgate, or you're closer to another one, you can go there, and there I guess they're going to get more meals for this Tuesday, because it was pretty full last weekend. So that was all. And one other question about those signs. I know a couple businesses approached me. You said they'd be available Friday. Do you know where they would get them?
Well, City Hall will have a supply, and also our DDA director will be distributing it within the community as well.
Okay.
So if you just want to leave the
name.
name or the address, we'll make sure they get one.
Okay, will do. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Roulette. That's especially enlightening in light of the fact that so many people have lost their jobs and they don't know when they'll go back to work, that they can get some meals. Again, thank you. Mr. Farah, good evening.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Parks and Recreation update. At this time, the golf course, ice arena, and senior center are closed until April 6th. The recreation is still accepting registration for spring sports via the website www.southgaterec.com. At this time, they still plan on running the spring sports, but things, as you've heard, are changing daily. The annual Easter egg hunt scheduled for April 4th has been canceled, and the annual ice show scheduled for the end of April has also been postponed at this time. If you have any questions or concerns about anything recreation related, please call the office at 734-258-3030 835 between the hours of 10 a.m. and 2 p.m., or continue to check the Recreation Facebook page and website for latest information, and they'll continue to update that. From Public Safety, there was no meeting, but I would just like to, having been out there on the road through some of these difficult times over the last couple decades, to the public out there, please respect our first responders. They're in a very difficult position when they're responding to calls under today's conditions, and I just want to say thank you to all of them for their continued service and dedication to providing safety to the public. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Mr. Farah. Mr. Lent, good evening.
Oh, wait,
I apologize.
I know, seeing
I'm
I
so used
moved, I
to
got a promotion.
he's the
You got a
city,
promotion,
he's the
I
city
passed,
administrator
Mr.
today.
Zemeckis, I apologize.
No
Please accept
problem.
my apologies.
It's not
All right.
because of our cologne that we're sitting away from people.
Getting used to this new seating chart.
Condolences to the following families: Kenneth Carpenter, Margaret Insko, and Paul Paglio. Also, my Polish proverb for the day is, "He who sleeps with dogs will wake up with fleas." Also have another one. It's going to be a little difficult, but Ramsey's Coney Island is still willing to give hot dogs, fries, and grilled cheese to children. So if parents can call it in or that and come and bring, they will give it for free to help feed the kids that are out of school and everything. So he's a good friend of mine, and he asked what I thought about that, and I said, that's a great idea. So he's been getting a lot of people out there, sitting out in the cars waiting for their call-ins, but he's like any other restaurant. You got to try to do what you got to do.
Absolutely, absolutely. We will get through this.
Yep.
Mr. Mayor, you had a
Chairman, we
comment.
did ask the printer to try and rush one of these so that council would be able to see what they'd look like. But basically, it'll be signs like this throughout the community. It says open for pickup. The businesses will be able to either put their logo up here, a phone number, whatever they'd like to do. And then we've kind of, as a kind of, the DDA said there might be a good idea of just, okay,